lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be sitting down filming today's video. If you're new to my channel, what's up? My name's Courtney Marie. Today we are going to be talking about my top 10 palette recommendations. This is coming in hot, perfect time for Christmas, perfect time to add some things to the wish list, maybe even plan to pick up some things on the Boxing Day sales. So I have 10 palettes here. I did group a couple palettes and count them as one because they're from the same brand, but we are going to get into it right now. If you want to see my top 10 palette recommendations for 2018, then just keep on watching. I realize that 2018 is not over yet, and obviously I probably will get some more eyeshadow palettes before the end of the year, whether it be purchasing some with my Christmas money, or maybe someone bought me a palette for Christmas that they're going to give to me. I don't know yet. So in saying that, all of those palettes we will talk about in the new year, but these are the palettes for 2018 so far that I recommend as my top 10 that will make good gifts for someone. I have different price points from high-end to drugstore, some Australian drugstore, some not. So let's get into it right now. I technically have 11 brands to talk about, but the first one I didn't want to count as a category because I talk about it so much on my channel recently, and that is the Clara Cosmetics palettes. So I have all three of the larger palettes, Bondi being my favorite. This is probably my favorite palette of 2018. So I'm just going to quickly run through what each of these look like and what palette would be suitable for what type of person. So like I said, Bondi is my favorite. This is what the packaging looks like. It is absolutely stunning. Clara Cosmetics is cruelty free. And they are an Australian brand. I do think that they ship internationally though. So this is what the Bondi palette looks like. I'm just going to turn her upside down so it's easier for me to hold. So this is definitely a more neutral tone palette with the mattes. The shimmer shades, obviously blue and green is sort of a neutral shade as well. Blue can be cool tone, green can be cool and warm tone. So you have some neutral shimmers down here, mostly greens and then blue shimmers. You do have a navy matte and a teal matte in this palette. I would say this palette is for someone that knows what they like, and whether it be a very neutral look with just mattes and a shimmer, this is basically what you're going to get out of this palette. You know, you've got your setting shades, transition shades to deepen it up in the outer corner. If you want a pop of color underneath the lower lash line, you have that, and then you have a bunch of shimmers to play with. So this is for someone that basically just wants an everyday look with the mattes, and then you can play around with the shimmers in here. Also, if you're looking for a good dupe of the Natasha Denona green palette, this has some similar shades and definitely has that tone. So that is the person I would recommend this for. This for me is my everyday palette. I wear this to work. Every time I wear it, I get complimented on it. I feel like because I have blue eyes, the greens complement my eyes really nicely. So that is the Bondi palette. Then we have the Malibu and the Marrakech. I never know how to say this. So the Malibu palette is definitely more geared towards somebody that likes to play with bright colors. So you do have your standard row of just neutral mattes, but then the rest of the palette is pretty colorful. You have this row of matte shades here, this row of shimmers, and these are sort of like shimmers and transformer shades. They're not as intensely metallic as the top, as the middle row, but they're more of like a transformer shade type of thing. So this is definitely the brightest of the three palettes, and this is sort of more geared towards someone that likes to play with color, and you do have the neutral option there as well. So that is what this one looks like. And lastly, the Marrakech palette looks like this. So this is definitely targeted towards your, you know, your everyday girl, warm tone trends, cranberry trends. This is probably the most trendy palette because you have all of those warm tones and those pops of purple, which are a bit trendy right now. You do have a couple sort of metallic blues, and then you've got, you know, your really intense metallic silvers and golds down here. So this is probably the most popular of the three palettes in terms of probably what sells the best would be this one. Definitely floating around on Instagram. Whenever I see a tutorial using Clara Cosmetics, it's mostly the Marrakech palette I don't know if it's Marrakech or Marrakech, but let's just go with it. So I would definitely recommend this palette to someone that's just, you know, very in tune with what's trendy and likes warm tones, and you know, you do have a little bit of room to experiment and play in here. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one for just the most wearable in terms of the three, because this is the most wearable. You know, this is definitely playing with color, and then the Bondi is definitely you know, sort of like a one-trick pony. You're gonna get mostly a very similar look no matter what you do with this palette. So yeah, that is Clara Cosmetics. Let's move on to the next palette. The rest of these palettes are in no particular order. So the first one I have is I never know if it's BP Perfect or B Perfect Cosmetics, but this is in collaboration with Stacey Marie, which is a makeup artist on Instagram. So this palette is definitely a extremely trendy palette for 2018. It got a lot of hype. This is what the color scheme looks like. So definitely in terms of the type of person I would recommend this palette to is someone that likes color. You know, you do have some neutrals down the bottom here, but this is definitely for the type of person that isn't afraid to experiment and sort of step out of their comfort zone. So you have a lot of blues in this palette. So I'd definitely say someone that likes blues, because basically if you cover up, if you cover up the blues in this palette, it's not that exciting. It's mostly just like a warm tone palette with a hot pink, hot orange, and a hot yellow, and a couple pops of purple. So definitely I would say if you are looking at picking up this palette, make sure that you're going to use the blues. Otherwise there's a decent portion of this palette that will go unused. But the pigment is definitely really intense. The mattes do feel dry when you swatch them, but like they perform perfectly fine, and it's not like you're just gonna swatch your shades all the time. That's not really a good tell of how they perform. So there aren't many shimmers in this palette. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmers, and then you have the 2 highlighters. These are too dark for my skin tone particularly, but I use them as eyeshadows as well, so it's not really a big deal. The formula of this palette is absolutely impeccable, and I absolutely love it. I do have a bunch of looks using this palette over on my Instagram. I'll leave it down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, the price point of this palette is a little bit difficult to grasp. I've seen it on Beauty Bay for like $70. I've also seen it for $45, so I'm not sure how much it is supposed to be, but this palette is beautiful. Definitely geared to someone a little bit more creative and that wants to experiment, but it is a beautiful palette. It is nice and chunky and sturdy, and definitely good for travel because it has a lot of different color combinations in it that you can create. So this is number 10. Let's move on to number 9. The next palette I have is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Bar palette. Mine is a little bit dirty. Like I said, the Bondi palette's probably my number 1 for 2018. This is probably number 2. I absolutely love this palette. I've taken it traveling. I took it down to do my makeup for a wedding, and I did my makeup. I did someone else's makeup with this while I was there. This is a stunning palette. I absolutely love it. The metallics in here are some of the most pigmented metallics I have experienced ever. They are beautiful. Yeah, they don't feel like creamy, they feel dry, but they perform just like super intense. I love it. You basically have 4 matte shades here, which is your standard everyday look to create sort of like a smoky eye, and then you have a bunch of shimmer shades to shake it up. So I would definitely gear this palette to someone who is looking for a little bit more of an everyday palette that you can transition from, you know, day to night, because you do have mostly neutral shimmers in here, and then you've got like a purple, pink, a bright gold, and then you've got your like old gold green and more of like an olivey green. So this is definitely targeted towards someone that wants a everyday palette that they can use with the 4 mattes, put on a shimmer, and then maybe, you know, if they go out on occasion, they can shake it up with a gold or a hot pink. That is what I would gear this palette towards. I love this as a makeup lover who has a lot of palettes, I still dip into this one. You know, I find this still allows me to be a little bit creative, but mostly I love doing a smoky eye with the gold and the shade Rich Girl all over my lid, and this shade Dripping Diamonds on my inner corner as an inner corner highlight. This is an amazing formula. I love this formula. It is different. I did recently, not recently, a few months ago, I purchased the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette in the tin. I hated it and I got rid of it. I got gifted this palette and the formula is 100 times better. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there because it should be all the same formula, but this one is amazing and I definitely recommend it to anyone, whether you're looking to buy something for yourself or someone else. This is a little bit pricey here in Australia. I think it is around 70 something dollars, don't quote me, but it is beautiful and the formula is stunning, the packaging is stunning, and I definitely recommend it. That's probably my my second palette for myself in terms of 2018, but yeah, the formula is beautiful. Next palette I want to talk about is the Suva Beauty Block Party palette. First of all, the packaging is absolutely stunning. These palettes are in no particular order. Like I said, they're all palettes that I love, and they're just things that I recommend. It sort of just depends on what you're looking for. Definitely this palette is geared to someone that loves bright colors and that just wants a bright palette. So you have a stark bright white, a sort of pinky shimmer, a bright yellow, a bright purple shimmer, a hot pink matte, a like beautiful teal blue, a beautiful orangey peach color, a teal navy, a true navy, and then you've got this like super dark deep purple vampy shimmer. So this is definitely for someone that loves bright colors, that knows they love bright colors. I did do a dedicated video on this and the look that I did in that video was absolutely bomb. I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll link it down below. Also, I have a bunch of looks using this on my Instagram because I love this palette so much. The formula is just impeccable. I know that Suva Beauty just released a sort of warm tone neutral shade, warm tone neutral palette, and if it's anything like this in terms of formula, I need that palette in my life. The only reason I haven't picked it up yet is because I'm on a low buy and I'm trying to plan like my purchases with the makeup releases. But yeah, I really love this palette. I think the formula is impeccable, like absolutely just out of this world. Like beautiful. I love it. I love this palette. I would definitely recommend it. I'm pretty sure Suva is cruelty free. Don't quote me on that. But this palette isn't that expensive, and yeah, if you know that you love bright colors or if you want a dedicated bright palette to experiment with, definitely recommend. Next we have an affordable palette. This is the BH Weekend Festival palette. So this is a limited edition palette. I know you can still get it on Beauty Bay and Glamrator maybe, but this is a 20 color shadow palette. It is super beautiful. BH is cruelty free. You just have a bunch of amazing shades in here. Definitely you have some neutrals, you have some pops of color, everything in between. I think this is a nice palette. I think it retails for 25 Australian dollars. I paid 45 because I bought it off Beauty Bay, and Beauty Bay they just love to hike the prices up of things. But yeah, you have some beautiful shimmer shades here, like even these ones, and you have a very glittery finish shimmer shade, and then you have some beautiful mattes. Definitely would recommend for someone that you don't want to spend a high price tag on, or even for yourself if you're a budget queen and you want a bright beautiful palette with an amazing formula. This is definitely the one to go for. I do know that they have the Take Me Back to Brazil palettes 1 and 2. I have number 1, which is the matte one, and they do have a shimmer one, so you can get both of those, and then you'll have like every possible color that you could ever want. But yeah, this is a beautiful palette if you want something that's mostly bright, you can create a neutral look with, and it's not that expensive either. I have these palettes from Ace Beauty. I'm just sort of classing them as one slot in my 10 palettes, but these are the 3 palettes that I have. I do not have the rainbow palette because I have enough sort of rainbowy palettes in my collection, but these are really, really, really good palettes. The formula is really good. It's a little bit powdery and it has a bit of kick up, but a lot of shades have that. So this is the Classical Paradise palette, which looks like this. So this is sort of a warm tone palette. You have your mustards, your greens, your burgundies. It's sort of like a more unique take on a warm tone palette. This is what she looks like. The formula of these are absolutely impeccable. I love them. Next we have the Paradise Fallen palette, which looks like this. So this is a purple palette. I was talking to someone the other day and I feel like these would be a sort of similar dupe to the Huda Beauty Gemstone Obsession palettes. I know that obviously they're the same price, but you're getting a lot more product in these than you are the Huda ones. Just like for a size comparison, this is the Huda one. It literally fits into the palm of my hand. And she looks like this. So in Australia, these retail for $48. I'm struggling to hold these palettes. So in Australia, these retail for $48. These retail for $49. So you're getting a lot more product in the larger ones than you are the minis. So this would definitely be not a dupe, but a similar vibe to the Amethyst one because it is purple. But just, you know, as a standalone product, I definitely recommend these. The formula is amazing and the color schemes are beautiful. So that was Paradise Fallen. And then we have Blossom Passion, which is definitely your pink tone palette. So if you are looking for a dupe for the Ruby palette, I'm definitely positively 100% sure it won't be shade for shade, but you know, you are getting a lot more product in here than you are these ones. So yeah, I would definitely recommend these Ace Beauty palettes. The formula is beautiful and it is good to support an indie brand when you can. Not to mention the packaging is stunning. Next I have the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This is what she looks like. This is definitely a beautiful palette for someone that is looking for a all-rounder type of palette. You can do so much with these shades. You have your warm tones, your cool tones, you have your greens, purples, burgundies, you have like a bunch of mattes up the top here other than these 2 satin shades. But this is a beautiful palette. I would definitely recommend this for someone that wants just a one-stop shop, a travel palette, an everyday palette, something that they can just take with them, go from day to night. Yeah, I absolutely adore this palette. The formula is really good. These burgundy shades do have a little bit of a hard time in terms of pigment wise. They're not the greatest, but if you build them up on the eyes, you really just don't notice anything. But yeah, these shimmer shades I absolutely love. They look beautiful. I love greens at the moment, but yeah, this is just a nice all-rounder palette. It is a, you know, a travel theme palette. It's called Born to Run. It has a bunch of places all over the world on it, and definitely think it would be the perfect travel palette to take with you and just do every single look. So if you are looking for a one-stop shop palette, oh my goodness, I cannot talk this morning, then I would definitely recommend this one. So if you're looking to get a gift for someone, this is a little bit on the pricey side, but I do think it is worth the price tag. It was super hyped up this year, but it is deserving of that hype. Drugstore palette that I definitely recommend. This is the Magnifies Jewel Rocks edition by Rimmel. So I actually feel like it's a little bit similar in color scheme to the Urban Decay palette. I don't know, but it is a beautiful palette. The formula is amazing. Again, I've done a bunch of looks with this over on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out, but this is what she looks like. She's just a bunch of jewel tone shades. This is mostly shimmer, so this is definitely for someone that doesn't mind a bit of shimmer. You have three mattes. I was able to create a bunch of looks with this over on my Instagram, and I didn't dip into any other palettes. I just used these, and I did not struggle at all with the fact that it only has 3 mattes. So I did a halo eye using the mustard green tones, and then I did a just a coral eye, and I actually used these 2 blues as liner. So I'll try and leave photos up on the screen, but if I can't, just go over to my Instagram and check it out. But this is an affordable palette that's really nice, and I think it would just make a really nice little stocking stuffer, and I would be really happy to get one of these. I think the formula is really good. So I know they have a bunch of colors, so yeah, I would be happy to get another one in my little stocking. I think it's a good stocking stuffer if you're looking for something affordable to get someone, or yourself if you just want to treat yourself as well. So yeah, definitely recommend. Down to the last 3 palettes. So first off, I have this Allen's X Sports Girl Beauty palette. So I'm not sure if this is still available. As of the time that I am filming this, you can still pick it up online and in store, but it is limited edition. So if by the time this video goes up, if you can't get it, I super apologize. But this is the Allen's X Sports Girl Beauty Chocolate Freckles Eyeshadow Palette. So I did do a dedicated video on this as well. This is what she looks like. I just love this palette. I don't know what it is about it. I think it just has a bunch of cool tones with these pops of colors. I love it. This is definitely geared towards your everyday girl who wants to do an everyday look but have pops of colors to experiment, you know, on the weekends, or if you're going out, or if you're just a makeup lover. I know that I'm sort of saying who I think these are sort of geared towards, but I'm just trying to make a sort of recommendation that will be really helpful to you guys, whether it is that you're not a makeup lover and you want to know what to buy someone, or if you are a makeup lover and just need ideas to get your fellow makeup loving friends, or even yourself if you want to get something for yourself. So as I was saying, this is an Australian brand, so I apologize if you are not in Australia, but this is a beautiful palette and I love it. The cool tones remind me a lot of the Sultry palette, obviously if you take out like the pops of color, but this is a beautiful palette and a beautiful formula, and it does only retail for $30, so definitely recommend if you can pick it up. Next is the Chichi Freedom, Love, Create and Express Yourself eyeshadow collection. So this is a giant palette. I did do a palette bingo with this, but this is what she looks like. So basically, I recommend this palette to, I don't know, I feel like just to everyone. Whether you're a beginner, you know, if you're a beginner in makeup or know someone that's a beginner, these retail for, let me double check, and these retail for $49 at Target, and it's $49 for 54 shades. I do know that Target goes, has 30% off Chichi Cosmetics all the time. I will just double check if they ship internationally, because I'm not 100% sure. So I'm just on the Chichi website right now and I'm just clicking on shipping. So yes, they do. They do ship internationally on chichicosmetics.com. So this is what the palette looks like. Yeah, as I was saying, I recommend this for basically anyone, because if you're a beginner and you got this in the mail, if you're a beginner and you got this for Christmas, it has everything, you know. Like, it is such a beautiful palette and you're so lucky. When I first started out in makeup, I had like an Urban Decay dupe palette that I'm like stained blue eyeshadow. I had an Urban Decay dupe palette for like the Naked 2, and it was like all of these really cool tone shimmery grays and like one copper color, and back then I hated cool tones, so I just used to get like the copper color. It was very similar to like this shade or this shade here, and I would literally just take my finger and put copper eyeshadow all over my entire lid, no transition, no nothing, and then like thick black wing liner. So as a beginner, if you got this, like 54 shades, you have so much to work with. But as a makeup lover as well, you know, I have a lot of makeup, but as a makeup lover, when I saw this, I was like, this is something that I need. This is just the perfect thing to sit in front of you on your table, and you have every color you could possibly want to work with, experiment with. They're beautiful shades, and it's only $49 for 54 shades. I think that is ridiculously, you know, cheap. Yeah, and the packaging, you do have a big mirror, like you could sit it up on your table. The packaging's beautiful. I definitely recommend this palette. The formula's really good. Some of the shades don't swatch amazing, but swatches aren't everything. The shades perform really nicely on the eyes. Like I said, I did do a palette bingo with this one that I will link down below. Actually, if I have done any videos with these palettes, I will link them down below, just so that you guys can see them in action. And yeah, but this palette is beautiful, so affordable. They ship internationally and they're cruelty free as well. I don't think this product's vegan, but it is cruelty free. So palette recommendation is a palette that I've got recently that I have not put down since I got it, and that is the Sultry palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So this is what mine looks like. It is dirty already, but I have not put this down since I bought it. It is amazing. I absolutely love it. It is cool tone magic. The shimmers in here are magic. They are absolutely stunning. We just have to excuse all of the stains on my hand. This palette is just miraculous. I love it. It is probably top 3 palettes of the year for me, maybe even number 2, I don't know. It is beautiful. I love it. The cool tones in here are stunning. The mattes in here are stunning. The shimmers in here are stunning. Everything about this palette is flippin' phenomenal. This is the only Anastasia palette that I currently own. I did own the Modern Renaissance briefly, but I absolutely hated it. I do have a video on that. I hated the formula. I don't know why, but I did. So I sat on this palette for such a long time deciding whether to buy it, because I was like, I don't know. But just looking at the palettes, the formulas look different between the Modern Renaissance and the Sultry. And I decided I'm gonna do it. I'm so happy I did, because oh my goodness, the formula of this is amazing. Definitely picking up Norvina as soon as I can, but it's very pricey. These retail for $75 here in Australia, which is a bit ridiculous, but like, look at the packaging. Just this is definitely a very luxe purchase. That is something you will get someone that you really love, or if you really love yourself and you want to get yourself a treat. It's definitely something that comes in the mail. You open it. Mine is dirty. I'm so mad because I don't know how to clean it, because it's covered in glitter. So I don't know, like, if I try and wipe it, if the glitter will come off. Let's see on camera, so that if it goes terribly wrong, there's evidence. Alright, so I've just wet a little bit of a microfiber cloth. Hopefully will be softer than a wet wipe. No, I think that just took, yes it did, it literally just took the sparkles off in that area. Okay, so you can't clean this palette if you get it, so lucky Courtney kept the carton, because it's going back in the carton and it's staying in the carton, and I will just pull it out when I want to use it, because the packaging is too pretty. I really wish the glitter was baked. That's like my only thing with the palette, it's not baked. I guess you could put like a varnish over the top of it, but it might ruin the palette, and I don't think varnish is very safe for your eyes, so if it got into the palette, then you wouldn't be able to use it. So, but the packaging is beautiful. It does come off on your hands though, because it isn't baked, if you can see that. So yeah, that is like my only pet peeve with this palette. but it's beautiful, so we'll deal with it. Beautiful. So that is it. That is all of my palette recommendations for 2018 in terms of what to buy people for Christmas, what to buy yourself, or if you're just looking for a good palette recommendations video, this is it. Yeah, I really enjoyed filming this video. I love talking about eyeshadow and talking about just products that I love with you guys. I feel like we're just friends and we're having a little bit of a chit chat, and I absolutely love it. So if you want me to recommend anything else, whether it be, you know, a bunch of base products, I can recommend my favorite primers, concealers, powders, foundations, or just anything. My favorite lipsticks. I've already done a favorite lipsticks, but you know, can never stop talking about makeup on this channel. So just let me know what you guys want and I will do it for you. I love you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!